Now, internet users have been warned to change all of their computer and phone passwords after what's been described as a catastrophic security breach. The Heartbleed bug has left many sites, including Google, Amazon, Yahoo and Facebook, open to attacks by hackers. But because the attacks leave no trace, it's not actually clear how much personal information has already been stolen. We're joined now by Professor Bill Buchanan from the Centre for Distributed Computing and Security at Edinburgh Napier University. Good evening, Professor Buchanan.
Good evening.
Just tell us a bit more about what exactly has happened.
OK, this isn't a problem to do with the security protocols that are actually there. It's to do with an implementation flaw on a software program called OpenSSL. And that program has been used by many of the websites. About 60% of the websites on the internet are using this type of software to actually secure the communications between you and the website. So I think the key thing that should be noted is that this isn't really a security protocol problem. This is a bug in a piece of software.
So this software, is that the little padlock you see at the top of your internet browser, which should tell you that it's secure?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The little padlock is telling you that you now have secure communications. It uses a protocol called SSL or TLS, and it's that communications that will keep your communications secure. And that in itself is a secure protocol, and nothing's broken about that. What happened here is because of a software engineer didn't actually test their code or didn't review their code, then an intruder can actually create a payload which is bigger than the normal payload that would normally go to the site to actually request some things, and then that reads from the memory, the actual physical memory of the website, and that can reveal typically usernames and passwords, and more importantly it can reveal the private key of the site which is actually being accessed. So if
you're going to have to put this in primary school terms for me specifically. Does it basically de-encrypt the encryption that this code puts on your passwords? So when you type your password in, it gets encrypted and sent to the website. And does this de-encrypt it? Is that right?
It's just that all the communications that go between you and the website. So if someone was listening to your network traffic, they couldn't actually decode what you were actually entering as part of your PIN number or password and so on. So that keeps the whole thing secure. So that hasn't been broken. What's been broken is the end piece of software, which then actually you access on the website. That's then revealed the memory of the running web server, which can have usernames and passwords actually on it. The biggest problem really is that we identify sites on the internet through that little padlock. Mm-hmm. That little padlock means that the company has signed something with their private encryption key to say that they are a valid site, such as a bank will actually prove their own identity through that little padlock. What can be revealed is the actual private key of the company to others, so that others can pretend to be that company or that organisation in the future. It's happened a few times on the internet. Companies have revealed the private key. What they must then do is revoke this digital certificate, this key, and to tell everyone in the world that you can't trust this existing one, and what they've generated is a new one.
So for people like me who don't understand much of that, how serious is it? We're being told that it's catastrophic and that some people are saying we need to go in and change all of our passwords.
I think that's very poor advice. This is a 0 day, which means that everyone now knows about it. But there's been a bit of due diligence here. The important companies have been informed about this and have actually patched their systems before it actually has been broadcast to everyone. Really, you should only change your password if you're using an unpatched system, and you should not change your password if the system isn't actually vulnerable. So users really need to know if they're at threat and whether they need to change their password. But most of the big companies...
How would the average person know then?
Well, I think an email to their provider, to their web provider, would be a useful thing. But most of the large companies have already patched their systems already.
So, just when it comes to passwords, though, when we're told to change all of our passwords, I look at it and think, well, that's me. I'm going to have to go and get another piece of paper to write them all down. Um, how do we keep them secure to make sure that, should we be changing them regularly anyway, I suppose?
We should. It's good practice, and it's also good practice to make sure that you use different passwords for each of your different systems. The last thing that you want to do is that someone finds out your password for your email system and then can go into your Twitter account or your LinkedIn or your Facebook account and breach them. So really, it's a good idea to be using different passwords all the time. Unfortunately, it's getting more and more difficult for us to remember these long passwords, and passwords are becoming very difficult to actually use. So many researchers around the world, including a local company called MyCard, are actually looking at new ways to identify yourself without using these complicated passwords that we're being asked to generate these days.
That would be very much welcomed in my household. Thank you very much indeed for your time this evening, Professor Bill Buchanan from Edinburgh Napier University.